Hello, everybody. I'm about to get on my podcast, which, of course, you are welcome to join. Not to say you absolutely, totally must get on it. And tonight, the topic is going to be, as part of the countdown to the cosmic code, the number one misconception when it comes to true seduction evolution. See, guys treat it in a way that is too static. They are fooled by the first few feelings that they feel, not understanding that it's about momentum. So what? You don't really feel it. There's nothing abnormal with your mind not encouraging you right away, being concerned, and so on. But the problem is too often guys will sit on that again, treating it too static, as if it's a thing when it's a process. So true seduction evolution is the understanding that no matter how you're feeling initially, you take a couple steps, you talk a little bit, it doesn't have to be perfect at all. On the contrary, the more you can bear with, you don't really know what to do, you're not doing it very well, nobody seems to really participate the way you would hope, but that's okay. That is part of the process. And it does not only apply at the basic level of starting interactions to gain momentum. Me, I always treat it like I'm building a fire, and I know if we're building a fire together, the initial ingredients that are going to be used into the process of building a fire are not going to be there later. We don't build a fire with 1,000 little matches or just pour gasoline or whatever you call those logs that sometimes those who have the pleasure and the luxury to enjoy a fireplace will use to start the fire initially. We also use paper, but it's to get it started. So be smart, you're social, you talk to whomever is there to gain the momentum. But as I was saying, it does not only apply at that basic level, it's with everything. The first few numbers that you're gonna get, you may know ahead of time that they're not very solid, that it's not gonna go anywhere. But again, if the guy sits on that, he's barely getting numbers. Few are those who really get the proper quantity of numbers. I understand that you're busy, you have other matters, so we're not asking pro level at least 10 phone numbers per day. Can you imagine? We get 10 phone numbers a day. That's 300 phone numbers a month, or 310, depending how many days in the month. Maybe a little short in February, I know. But out of 310, it wouldn't be too difficult to find a sufficient amount of candidates that are a little bit more ready, a little bit more open to start with. So you got to watch out of that tendency to think that if it's not happening initially, that's it, you fucked, nothing will happen. To also be overly picky. You generate the momentum like a train that's gaining speed. So it's absolutely fine to have a couple dates and day twos and the girl doesn't show up. Instead of insisting, well, what about flakes? Well, use them. Flakes will be like the little pieces of wood and leaves that you put on your fire to get it going. So that is our topic tonight on my call. We're going to take it through all aspects of your pickup. The problem again is there's an initial misconception, a tendency to treat it in a very static manner and to think that everything needs to be in place before something can happen, versus starting to get a little momentum, to know that it's not going to stay the same. It's going to evolve, but how can it evolve if you don't do much? So if you go through a couple of weeks of getting phone numbers, and even if in the midst of number closing you hear, I don't give my number, which there are plenty of remedies, but let's say you go through that, it would be foolish. It would be the biggest cog blocking you could do to yourself to start to crystallize that and think that's how it is and what it is. Instead, you should remind yourself that everything is evolution in life. Everything. There's not one thing that you started initially that didn't evolve. And I believe that there's an element to evolution that is natural. You witness that amongst little kids, or if you have re-exposure to things without necessarily even making the decision that you want to master them. If you're sufficiently relaxed and you have the proper frame of mind, you notice that it evolved of its own. We're also going to talk about cracking the code, the cosmic code. I know it's a beautiful blend and combination of words. What exactly do I mean by the cosmic code? I'm going to reveal more and more of that in a series of interviews that are going to come, but I'm going to give you just a little idea tonight. Okay? You're in front of a computer or a phone, and they require passwords. If the password is close but not quite, unless you're a professional hacker and you have your own system to go at it until you identify the password, then it doesn't matter. So it's about a total alignment. It's about a certain sequence that, if not complete, will not lead to anything. I mean, you still be like, no, I'm not in. No, I'm not in. So rethink your own equation. See, if a guy, tonight we're also going to talk about attraction. If a guy is aware that he wants a 10, but he's not sure that he can get one, he doesn't really have the reference of getting one, he's still confused comparing himself with a woman, and he's like, I don't look like a 10, you know, myself, because men are not supposed to look like that. That'd be weird, okay? Women are not attracted the same way we are. What they want is the man who's aligned. The code has been cracked. The guy is cracking the code. If on top of that, maybe he is also, so he starts to doubt himself. And doubting yourself, even if you want it real bad, is a password that comes short. So what's the solution? Start with very simple question. For example, what if I didn't know it? And as I am, sure, always evolving, fine-tuning, but I'm already complete and I'm already capable, not maybe all of them, but to be with 10. Okay, well, stay with that. Ponder with that. And there too, there will be an evolution from questions like, yeah, but could that be? From contrasting, yeah, but that's not the case, to through time. That's going to become more and more predominant, and then it impacts your biochemistry, your body language. So for me, the cosmic code, cracking the code, is the highest, the deepest, the furthest we have gone so far, in terms of not visiting the galaxy, but visiting the inner galaxy of game. Meaning, to really crack your own code is to understand that you could try to improve your body language. You could try to improve the tone of your voice. You could learn any cool routines and so on. I'm open to it all for as long as it will produce results. But if internally you don't have the combination, meaning you doubt yourself, a slight amount of doubt would automatically impair a person's breathing, which is going to impact their body language, which is going to impact how they're going to talk, which is going to impact what they're talking about. So you got to return. It's a return to full acceptance of you, your conditions, your options, and making success the only option, to not even contemplate defeat. So you got two things along with the description of this video. First, I gotta run, jump on board. It's free. You dial the number. You can dial from anywhere in the world, and we're gonna continue. I'm gonna take Q&A, 45 minutes. We're gonna talk about, I want it to be conservative because, you know, even though it's 2019, the world is still the world. What we're really talking about tonight is building massive sexual momentum. And we're gonna talk further about embracing your own evolution. Because at the core, you may think that what you need is a special text, or that there's that little gimmick that you can use to get a girl back, or no matter what level you're at, you know that there's a little something you tweak, and now you're no longer with sevens, you're with tens, when in fact the core problem is there's a misunderstanding of the nature of the true process. Guys treat it in a static manner, but if instead of going, oh, I don't feel it, I need to get rid of my anxiety, or I talk okay to those, you start. And it's the willingness to not do it well. It's the willingness to not feel super good as you do it, based on the understanding that it's not going to stay that way. You need to put some motion in it, momentum. You need to get a lot of close, but not quite. You want to get good at pulling. You want to get good at crazy makeouts on the spot, same night sex, you name it, and success in your own life. And anything, if you are not willing to come close, but not quite, with the understanding that it's not going to stay that way, close but not quite will lead you to closer, but there's got to be repetition, momentum, expansion, flow, excitement, then you're treating it the wrong way. You are waiting, and again, it's back to that awkwardness. The second thing, we're opening a couple spots to be with us 4 entire days, 12 gurus, the benefit of the recording, the entire experience, recording of the prior years. Just for that, it would be worth it. 1 month membership to my daily coaching. It's a secret group, and you can be with me 1 month to prepare. You have access to hundreds of hours of videos, and it ends tonight, the deal. There's a link there. Look at it. We are going to really focus on in-person for the Cosmic Code to honor those who travel. So there's 2 quick things right there. Number 1, dial that number and meet me in just a minute. Number 2, click on the link, and you may be one of the last few to be able to get on the Cosmic Code live stream HD recording and crazy bonus for a fragment of what it will bring you in your life for the rest of your